Greetings, everyone. Tim Anderson here, aka Renfell, and welcome to the latest episode of the Project Dramond Update series. We are closing in on 100 videos since we started this project on March 1st, which is hard to believe. Today is episode 92. It's video number 92 for those of you who are keeping track here on YouTube. Um, Crazy ride to get here. And today we are doing, today's update is all about the fifth tabletop prep session for the playtesting that's going on with our patrons and some of their close friends over on Roll20 and here on YouTube every Wednesday night at 8:30 Central. We of course have the fourth session coming up this Wednesday night, the 25th of August, 8:30 p.m. Central. Hopefully I'll be a little bit, last week I was a little under the weather for my second COVID shot, but I'm feeling pretty much normal these days. So we should be rolling right ahead into this next episode, and this is where I'm starting to one of the ideas that had my mind is rambling here. Sorry. So I've been working on the chapters, the serialized chapters of the book alongside this first tabletop session. Now, if I had done this in a different timing session, we might have already had the book chapters prepped. Either way, the books allow people to have an additional layer of insight into what's going on with the campaign if they so choose. Now, you have to remember that not everyone, when we're talking about the long term, um, my brother's sending me stuff. Sorry about that. Pinging me with updates. Um, Not everyone is going to want to um, read the books or pay attention to the books when they are sitting down to play tabletop. A lot of people just like to play tabletop, and they're happy to take whatever lore is provided in the source book, and then whatever is in the campaign module and given to them by the GM. They're happy with all of that. Now, there are going to be some players who want to read the book content, and the tricky part about this, from the DM perspective, or the GM perspective, I should say, because we're not allowed to use DM because that's copyrighted by Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons. Um, the tricky part is that anybody who has read the content of the books or the book chapters, it allows them to have some foreshadowing. And that can be a little tricky when it comes to role playing because sometimes it's difficult to keep yourself from having that knowledge affect the way that your player is going to interact with the game world because you're like, oh yeah, but I know this is going on, so we better not go over there. I saw a little bit of this last week but that's okay because this part of this is playtesting, so it's kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't work for the campaign. Um, Now, one of the things I really like about this is because I've been able to drop some Easter eggs into the tabletop sessions. So for those who have read the books and know what's going on, there's like, oh, that's that character. Oh, that's that, and that's that thing, and that's that place. Chapter 5, which I finished working on over the weekend, it's the first chapter, and it's going to be coming out Thursday, assuming Chris gets her artwork done. It's the first chapter where I haven't broke things up into two sections, and the reason for that is because we have a pretty big moment going on in chapter 5, which relates directly to what's going on in chapter 4, or session 4, I should say, of where we're at with the tabletop campaign, in the sense that where we left off last week, um, they were being told that there's going to be the Circle of uh, Life Mages are going to be going to the docks where there's been a temporary kind of hospital set up with some of the sick from that area, and they're going to be, because it's the closest to where they are on the map, they're going to go there and they're going to work some magic and see if they can't um, put a cure into place. And the players have been invited, some of the players have been invited to go attend that cure ceremony if they want to, while the others are going to be helping Thanon go off and load some stuff on his ship. Now, um, anybody who's ever watched any of the brainstorming sessions long term knows that in the long term of this, um, that the cure doesn't exactly work as intended. And that's going to be the fun part about the people who have never read anything um, and who don't know what's coming down the pipeline. Um, that the cure has some unintended side effects, and we're going to be getting into that. It's very interesting. My brother had a. It's been about 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago. Chris and I were at the park when I was explaining some of the storyline stuff to her. She's like, "That kind of sounds like some of those zombie apocalypse movies we've watched." And I was like, "Oh my God, are we building a zombie? Are we building like a horror game, like a zombie game, a zombie RPG, like a medieval zombie RPG?" It's not zombies, obviously, because they're not undead. But it is, it has similar undertones in the sense of what happens to some of these people. It's gonna be fun. So looking forward to seeing what comes out of the next few sessions. Where this is session 4, so I told everybody 5 to 8 sessions. So I feel like we're halfway, if not a little more than halfway. Things are gonna go very quickly once this happens. I should have muted that. I'm so sorry, everybody. A little stiffly this morning. Because once the turn happens, once the cure goes out and things start to change, um, yeah, things are gonna just boom, 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 and we need to get out now, quick. So it'll be fun to see how the next few sessions go, and we're in the home stretch now, I should say, is basically where I think we're at. So halfway point, or a little more than a halfway point, depending on how everything goes with the next few sessions. But looking forward to getting everybody through this. Don't forget, if you want to check out more about what went into the prep for this upcoming session tomorrow night, that's what today's post is all about. So drop the link below. It's the first link in the description text. You can head on over to Patreon and read through the preparations and how it ties into Chapter 5 of the book, and all of that coming out this week. And of course, if you want more information, because again, this is the 90-second video. It's crazy. I think we'll have over 100 videos by the time we get the actual branding finished and we move over to the new channel. We might actually even, depending on where we're at and timeline and everything, we might just say that 100 videos is the cutoff point, and that's just because there is going to be a lot of work that has to be done behind the scenes to get the websites ready and everything else. And we might just take a couple of weeks off from posting updates while we get everything shifted over. Um, but once we get everything up and running, we talked about it last night. I think we're still on a timeline for the end of September, early October, somewhere in there is when we're going to have all the branding done, and then we will be shifting everything over to the new YouTube channel, um, changing the name of the Patreon and the Discord and everything else, and launching all of our social media channels for everybody to follow. So exciting times ahead. Stay tuned. Check the link below. We'll see everybody tomorrow night for the live stream. Until next time, stay safe, everybody.